Well, hello everyone. This is Joseph, your host for the podcast Scenes from the Corner. And I'm out actually getting our chicken girls out, getting them taken care of, getting them some greens this morning, and making sure they're fed, got their water. Looks like we're good to go. The girls are out. Yeah, I see you. Hi, Foggy. That's our loud girl. Just love her. So yeah, as I'm out kind of looking over the garden, getting the chickens out for the morning and all that kind of thing, I was thinking yesterday about sustainability, about Homestead Sustainability. One of the things that Sarah and I determined, we started a little over a year ago, and we determined that we were going to figure out, especially financially, how to sustain the homestead. We didn't want any of the expenses coming out of our monthly budget. I have my handyman remodeling business. Sarah is a stay-at-home mom, and so we wanted to figure out, but with the income that we had, how to continue to pay our bills, but let the homestead portion with our garden, with our infrastructure, with our chickens to be sustainable in and of itself, with canning, fruits and vegetables and things that we do. And so we first made the decision to be sustainable, especially on the financial side. So I wanted to kind of look at three areas just real quickly to encourage us along the way as we're learning to be financially sustainable and communally sustainable. We'll talk about that in just a minute. So let's look at area number one. We knew that we were going to be buying seed. Baker Creek is our favorite seed company. I think that was one of the first seed catalogs that we got, and like so many other people that do gardening, we couldn't wait to get our seed catalog. And when we got it, of course, we wanted to go crazy and buy mass amounts of seed, which we bought quite a bit since then from them and others. But we wanted to get some seed, and we specifically just got excited about getting our garden fully in and all of our raised beds and just get them full of abundance, and excited about getting packets and packets and packets of seeds. However, our budget said a little bit different at the time. And so what we decided to do was just start off with, some of the staples. We had tomatoes, we had squash, we had cucumbers, which all produced really well, which was really good, and a few other things that we experimented with. Some potatoes, some Mardi Gras peppers, some good stuff like that. And so because we had decided that we were going to try to get this thing financially sustainable, we didn't spend a crazy amount of money. And then, so we decided if we were going to continue to be financially sustainable on the seed side, that we were going to have to begin to learn how to harvest, dry, and store seed from the initial seed that we bought. Now, one of the cool things along the way is I've kind of fallen in love with marigolds. Of course, marigolds are put in gardens to keep pests away, and a lot of people just say they're stinky, but to me, they're just gorgeous. And we ended up with a couple of different varieties, which just kind of flourished in various times and various ways. And so our friend Christy Davis, who's part of our local urban homestead community here in where we live in the Mid-Cities area of Dallas-Fort Worth, she actually taught us about how to get the seeds out of the marigolds and to dry them, to have those. And so we're excited that in the spring, we're going to plant a lot of marigolds. I'm just going to throw it around like Johnny Appleseed going through the countryside and just seeing them spring up everywhere. I'm going to be the crazy marigold man because I'm excited about it, because those were some of the first seeds that we learned how to actually harvest out of the marigolds themselves to be able to sustainably plant more marigolds for our garden in the future. So thank you, Christy, for that. So saving seed out of the seed that you get from your new crops. As your crops grow, they flower, they go to seed, and you can save, dry, and store those seed. That's definitely a way to save some money and help you financially sustainable on the homestead. The second area that we looked at was feed. We started thinking about our girls back before we even had them, and we decided that we wanted to do non-GMO, non-soy based, as natural as possible feed. And so the feed that we use with our girls is really a good feed, and it's not crazy expensive, but it's a little more expensive than just the cheap stuff, and it's high quality, it's good for them. The girls seem to be healthy on it. But what we knew we needed to do was to supplement their diet with some green stuff as well. Because we have a yard, we don't have acreage, we don't have a lot of room for the girls to really free range. And so what we do is when we pull things out of our garden, they get the greens. When we have scraps inside the house from turnip greens or from carrot tops or something like that, we throw those in there with the girls as well and give them some greens from the garden and greens from our scraps on the inside. We also give them, cucumbers, and we gave them watermelon rinds with a little bit of the red left and things like that. So we put that kind of stuff in there with them. Of course, a lot of stuff also goes in our compost pile. But that was a way for us to begin to supplement their diet and in some ways to even save probably a little bit on our feed. So we would like to find a better way. We'd like to eventually maybe get around, it's one of those like super goals in the future, to actually make our own feed. But at this point, we're not there. Okay. Third area, infrastructure. We started out, as I said in an earlier podcast, we started out with one raised bed, then we built our compost pile, and we built it out of pallets and chicken wire that we got for free. And so we started off at very little expense there, and then as we started adding raised beds, then we built our coop and our run. We also built more raised beds. We built a ladder for our cantaloupes to kind of grow up. We built a boneyard where I can store wood with a skid. Most of that stuff was done with wood that I got for free. So in building infrastructure, a lot of the lumber that we have is stuff that I got off of job sites. Again, I'm blessed because I'm in the trades, which is very helpful. But we also looked on our Nextdoor app. We also talked to neighbors, and we looked on places like Craigslist, things like that, for free wood. And we also got a water hose, a really nice water hose from some friends of ours that were giving one away. So that gave us extra water hose for our watering system and infrastructure there. And so on the infrastructure side, finding used stuff is huge. I can't tell you how many terracotta pots and larger planting pots we've gotten for free that we saw people put by the curb, or that people said, hey, you guys are gardening, would you like these pots? And we took them. So on the infrastructure side as well, we were able to save some money because we found used lumber and people gave us pots. We even got a lot of our initial, what we did, our watering system and our feed system for our chickens were actually given to us. We found them on Nextdoor. People were putting it by the curb. They gave up on chickens, and we said, we're going to get it. We got heat lamps, all that good stuff. So that was really, really cool. So some things about sustainability is, if you can think of what would it look like, you got to have a little bit of a mindset shift here. What would it look like if you went from solely just being a consumer to somehow producing something, and producing it in such a way that people are willing to buy it, and then that money could be plowed right back into your homestead experience? We came across something that ended up being a surprise for us and made sustainability a reality. So we decided to start making bread. Sarah wanted to bake some bread, and she would bake some for us as a family, have it with our meals, that kind of thing. And we decided that we were going to bake some bread, and Sarah just put it out on Nextdoor that she was going to have some extra loaves, and if anybody wanted any. Well, to our surprise, the next morning when she woke up, she had 12 orders for bread, zucchini bread and banana bread. And that actually started for us a bit on the business side of Cartwright Corner, her weekly producing bread, selling that bread, and plowing that money back into our homestead to make it sustainable. Within 6 months of starting with the bread, Sarah had made around $1,000 in 6 months. Incredible. Also, in the process of that, she loves making jams and apple butters. Every fall, we make apple butter, and so we've sold a little bit of plum jam that she made and some apple butter as well. Not a lot there, and nothing like the bread, but we're just beginning to kind of market and push that a little bit. So again, changing your mindset a little bit, can you move from solely being a consumer to being a producer of something that people are willing to buy? And I'm going to tell you, sweetbreads are a good place to potentially start, just as we did. And again, it ended up being a surprise and a blessing, and ended up being the very thing that financially sustains our homestead. So we sold very few vegetables this summer. We sold to a couple of people. We had a bumper crop of our cucumbers, which was amazing, lots of tomatoes, but we canned a lot of the the cucumbers. We've yet to can the tomatoes. They're actually frozen in the freezer, waiting to be processed. Haven't been processed yet. A little bit behind on that. But our mindset shifted, and we just thought, hey, we can sell something, and whatever we sell, that can be put towards us having financial sustainability. Now, one of the other things that I want to talk about in sustainability, which is something that's been really good for us, is the sustainability of relationships and community. To actually be able to succeed in homesteading, you really need a community of people around you. So one of the things that we began to do is we just began to take friends that we thought might be interested and help them. My friend Michael Pruitt had decided after we had started our garden and everything that he wanted to start a garden with his family. And so I was able to go over there and help him get his first couple of raised beds in, trim some of the limbs on the trees, and he and I worked kind of together to get his yard in place, to get a fence up to keep his dogs out so they could start their garden. And they've been going. And it's been really cool to be able to help people get their raised beds in and those kind of things. We also worked with our Next Door app. I'm going to really encourage you as a homesteader, especially if you're in an urban environment, to get on the Next Door app. And I started a group called HEB, Urban Homesteaders. And we have over 100 people on that app now, and we've connected with some of them outside of the app they're all local to us in the neighborhoods around us and the couple of towns right around us. We've started to relationally connect with these people, building community so we can help one another and encourage one another. As a matter of fact, if you look on our YouTube channel, Cartwright Corner on YouTube, you'll see Matt and Kumu. I did an interview with them. They're just a couple streets over in our neighborhood and have a garden going in their backyard. Pretty cool. Did an interview with them. Feel free to check that out on YouTube. So I want to encourage you as well to start building for yourself a community of people, because those relationships help you be sustainable. They keep you encouraged, keep you moving forward. You can help them and they can help you. People have different skill sets that you can call on, and you have different skill sets that they can call on. So I think a vital part of sustainability with your homestead is being in community with others whose minds are also changing and their lifestyles are changing because of it. So those are some tips and some thoughts that I wanted to give to you. Sure appreciate you guys coming along for the journey and listening to this podcast, and I hope it's helpful and encouraging along the way. If you would, like I said earlier, find us on YouTube at Cartwright Corner. You'll find us there. We've got videos of different things that we've done and are doing, different inspirational things, hopefully. And also on Instagram. If you look on Instagram.com/Cartwright_corner. Instagram.com/Cartwright_corner. Follow us there as well, and that's a great place to interact with us as well if you want to leave messages. So again, I appreciate you guys listening to Scenes from a Corner, Episode 3, and Homestead Sustainability. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Look forward to talking to you again soon when I come up with something else that's worth talking about. So we'll talk to you later. You guys have a great day.